Now from this video onwards, we are going to clarify the concept of loop in the context of Python programming. So what is a loop in program? Loop in a program means based on the truth value of a condition, some set of instruction in the program repeats themselves again and again and again, and that is called loop. The concept can be easily understood by this figure in the left hand side. So here basically, if the condition holds true, some kind of condition holds true in here, then the code in this path or the set of instruction written in this path will keep on iterating again and again and again like this. So that's where the loop happens in the program. And whenever the condition is false, then instead of iterating again, it just come out of the loop, which is called loop is broken and the program came out of the loop, and this set of instruction will start executing. The easiest way to visualize a loop is to think about a track and field competition, as you can see in the figure, small figure in the right hand side. So let us assume a very simple track and field competition where the race will end after the lap 4 as written in here. What does that mean is each of the competitor will start from an initial point over here and they will keep on running and they will finish one circle, that is one lap, then finish another circle, that is second lap, another circle like the third lap. Then after the end of the fourth lap, the competition will end and the competitor can come out of the lap and the race is done. So that's what happened. So what if we try to explain that scenario, we can write simply like this. So the competitor basically starts from an initial point. Let's say we can call it when the value of the lap is 0. Well, of course, in the beginning, the competitor did not finish any lap of the race. So the lap is started from 0 here. Next, what does a competitor do? The competitor starts running. So this run will repetitively, I mean execute again and again and again after every laps. Now how long should a competitor run? The competitor should run until the lap count is 4. Now in order to know that well the competitor has already finished the lap count, already finished all the laps, that is in our case it is 4, and the race is done, they have to keep track of the lap count, right? Otherwise, if they really do not keep track of the lap count, they will run uh, again and again and again and again for the infinite amount of time, and the race will continue for the infinite amount of time. So that is not good, right? So in order to keep track of the lap, what they need to do is in the end of the every lap, they have to increment the lap count. What does that mean? That is, they started from lap 0. That is okay. Now, by the end of the first circle, like this, what they need to do is they have to increment the lap by 1. Then, in the end of the next lap or the next circle, they have to increment the lap from 1 to 2. Then in the end of the next circle again, or they have to increment the lap from 2 to 3. And finally, then again in the end of the next lap, they have to increment the lap count from 3 to 4, like this. and whenever they are done with 4 different laps or 4 different circles, the race ends and they come out of the track and the race is done. So that's how a track and field competition or a racing competition works. A simple race, track and field competition. Now, whatever scenario I have discussed now, the exact implementation of Python can be seen in this part of the slide in here. So now let us try to see what is happening in this Python, simple Python code snippet. So here, just like the fact the race is starting from lap 0, what I have done is I have initialized a variable called lap to a value 0. Then I'm saying the Python interpreter that, well, my race has started or my race is about to start. In order to tell the Python interpreter that, well, I want to start a race, or in other words, I want to start a loop, you have to use this while keyword. Now, right after telling the Python interpreter that, okay, I want to start a loop using this while keyword, you have to first specify the condition until when the loop or the race will continue. Well, in our case, as you know, that the race will continue until the lap count is less than or equals 4. Until that point, the race will continue like this. Then what you need to do is you have to start coding inside this loop by putting some indentation like this way. So inside this loop, all the instruction that you will write by putting this indentation, that will keep on executing again and again and again. This is just like the fact, like the competitor is running again and again and again in every lap. So here I have printed run just to in order to just make it similar with the scenario that we have just discussed. So here I have printed run. And next, what you need to do, you have to increment the lap count by 1 in order to keep track of the lap, like what we did in this place. So here in the last line of this loop, I have incremented the lap count by 1 like this. So what is happening here? Lap is starting from 0, then it is executing all this statement, that is the competitor is running like this, and then in the last line just before the lap is finished, you are incrementing it to 1. So by the end of the first iteration, it will be, so lap started from 0, by the end of first iteration it will be incremented from 0 to 1, then in the next iteration it will be 1 plus 1 to 4, 2, then in the next iteration it will be 3, then in the next iteration it will be 4, and as soon as it will reach 4, then the condition is fulfilled, it reaches 4 and the loop is done, and whenever it will reach 4, it will just break the loop and basically come out of the loop and just print this line called out of loop, and the loop is done. Now in the next video we will try to understand what are the different parts of the while loop, and then in the next video we are going to discuss the entire concept of loop with a demo which will clarify the concept more.